But actually, did you get to the oil and gas one, or did we just, because that one was interesting too? This one here. So nuclear is one thing, but he's even gone so far as to say right now in this particular situation, oil and gas, which from him means more than from the CEO of ExxonMobil. Mm-hmm. Right. This is a guy who
very pro.
He doesn't have a single business that would benefit from a statement like this to essentially bolster the significance of oil and gas still in 2022. And I don't know, you're buying gas out there, Will?
I am, yeah. Very high nowadays.
It's a 10-year high or something like this. And I'm sure everybody's affected or noticing it. And he's in here saying we need more oil and gas. He's in here saying that the drawbacks of this particular scenario, even though he might sell more electric cars in the meantime, as people go to the pump and they're like, hey, this stings. The man behind Tesla and Tesla Solar, Elon Musk, he says, I hate to say it, but we need to increase oil and gas output immediately. Extraordinary times demand extraordinary measures. Obviously, this would negatively affect Tesla. He just says straight up. But sustainable energy solutions simply cannot react instantaneously to make up for Russian oil and gas exports. And the way that oil and gas imports and exports work, it's so complicated. It's like, well, we have all this energy we produce, but we export that so then we can buy from that because there's all kinds of bizarre advantages and refineries, and you hear about it with here in Canada with the oil sands, and they found all kinds of international efficiencies for how to maneuver oil and gas between nations for whatever kinds of economic advantages exist. But this is an example of dynamic thinking where, listen, whatever mindset you've adopted in relationship to these things has to be flexible enough to compensate for the potential that humans might blow each other up or that there would be drastic economic consequences in the immediate sense. It's always a timeline. It's like, where is the boom or where is the damage, and how big is that damage? How immediate is it? And then you have to shift your focus, like I said previously, away from 100 years, and you have to shrink it down to 10 years, or you have to shrink it down to 5, or wherever the biggest risk happens to be. And that risk changed overnight with this invasion of Ukraine. It just did. It changed for Europe. It changed for Asia. It changed for North America. It changed for everybody. And SpaceX ain't ready yet to start pulling resources out of asteroids.
Mm-hmm. This is a realistic output on what he wants the future to be, because it's not like a flip of a switch, like you said, where it's just not going to be like electric and then that's it, right? There's a process to get to that point. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate this real tweet.
Yeah, it's any time that it's not obvious, or when a person, makes a statement that is obviously not in line with their typical statement, where a person showcases an ability to change their point of view based on the change of other circumstances, it's great. Because what it implies is that person's really thinking about it, and that they're not completely static in one particular viewpoint if it just so happens to be inconvenient. This is inconvenient for him as a CEO and as an owner. It's inconvenient for him.
But for the greater good.
For the whole picture, for the whole world, right now, it's the right move. Mm-hmm. And what can we say? Like, oil and gas still plays a big role in the daily activities of humans.
And it's a transition.
Daily
it's not
activities.
A flip.
No, God no. And even once there's more electric cars on the road, you still got to charge those cars. You still got to heat your house. There's still, natural resources are going to play a role in our lives. And you want to talk about natural resources, how do you build these batteries? You use natural resources.
Sure.
There's no perfection. The only perfection is imperfection. That's all we got.
Yeah. Talking about wabi sabi.
I don't know, man.
Okay.